get to see, you know, FURIA off to a good start on their attack. We'll see how their default, how they want to play optimally. But I say that, I don't get ahead of myself here. Of course, we've got the force coming through from Sentinels.
Yeah, look how far FURIA is off the choke stand. It's like they know that Sentinels isn't afraid to invest into these rounds, but on this round, it looks like only TenZ has really bought a Marshall. Everyone else just keeping the classic sick with the Frenzy in hand. And now we have the drone clearing out B main. And if you pay attention here, FURIA is left too near A, right? Just in case they need to roll off, quickly go to the A site if there is a B stack on this eco. Now, unfortunately for them, it's not a B stack, and they haven't sold this fake at all so far. So these A players are going to have to do a little bit of prodding, Dan.
Yeah, and this pacing is an interesting one because you've got to be careful not to shoot yourself in the foot by just running out of time when you're playing the anti-eco here, and I do fear for FURIA in this position.
But it looks like they are repositioned. They're repositioning this B site, so they're blindly going to go with a B hit here. I'm sure the Sova's recon has charged up. There it is, yep, and he's going to shoot that probably into the site any second now. That'll give a ton of information. The site's empty. This is going to be a free take, Dan. And I'm curious, is Sentinels going to go for the frags into the site, or are they going to try to box them in, get some exits, and do some economic damage?
Yeah, I feel, especially as they are Sentinels, that they would want to try to take some fights here, and they're actually all gathering towards spawn. So it's feeling more committed as opposed to boxing them in here. All 5 players coming through spawn in towards that B site. How many will they be able to find here? Of course, there is another Nebula there that is blocking vision. So Xand will get a freebie through the smoke as Dapper falls. So it's looking quite labored and not really seeing all that much promise here so far for Sentinels in this one. There we go, Sick finally able to get a little bit of damage, but just 1 frag so far. And in fact, FURIA happy to go for the challenges. Losing 2 players now, but as you say, Sean, this is really what they were looking for here, Sentinels. As TenZ gets another opportunity, but of course the shutdown is through, and that's the 2-0 opening here for FURIA as we move into their third rounds.
Yeah, and it's the little things, right? The Jet Bladestorm adding an extra orb in this patch relative to previous tournaments that we've seen TenZ play. If he got 1 Marshall kill right there, Dan, all he would need in this round is 1 frag and then his death, and then you had a Bladestorm in the following round. That's not the case right now. So he's far off of Bladestorm, and if you look here, he doesn't have a great buy. Going into the first gun, I think that's a Guardian in his hands with a bunch of Phantoms out, so no Operator in play yet.
Yeah, and you can see that FURIA have not really invested here either, kept what they had, just shoring it up with a couple of Sheriffs. Mid presence here for FURIA. They do like to put pressure on this mid position and to deny the attackers from, or rather, sorry, the other way around. FURIA likes to deny the defenders mid control. And you see in this round in particular, Marzin's just going to walk up with the Sheriff by himself.
Yeah, and yet again, Dan, look, if the Sentinels gave up A main control, they're playing in the blind here. They're stacking 3 to the A site because they have no info. So if you look over at this B site, Shaz is here all alone. He does have the Cheese Odin spam ready to go, though, Dan. This could get ugly.
Oh, I'm so afraid.
Oh, God.
I'm so afraid for FURIA. And there it comes, but looks like he'll pull off of it. They are too deep, so nothing from the Odin. So the first hurdle has been passed there for FURIA, but still looking to make their way forward. They've managed to get a 4th position on Xand with that Jet dashing in, and now the rest of them are starting to file into the site, and great headshots coming through off of this Sheriff, no less. And that's a huge opening into the site.
Spike planted.
Sentinels in a very difficult retake here, Dan. 2-on-4, but the trade frags come in. Brings it down to a 2-on-3. Both players from Sentinels far off their ults. Turret spot Sick on the way in. And this will probably allow them to reset. They might have to save, Dan.
Yeah, not looking good here, but you can see Dapper's looking for some amount of damage. And he's going to bait somebody out, and there we go. Khalil will give him what he wants, and a beautiful cleanup coming through from FURIA. 3 players surviving. Khalil's even picked up the Odin. Sean.
Woof. Yes, Sentinels is going to the Brazilian barbecue, Dan, and they are on the menu right now. This is not looking good for the boys. Man, losing the bonus early, I constantly am preaching about this. Those bonus rounds are pivotal if you're a pro team. Losing them early on in the games can cause things to snowball out of control. The ult economy will build for your enemies, and their economy is going to build with that. So you're really in the hole now if you're a Sentinels player.
Yeah, you can see in this particular round, they'll be looking for some early openings around Catwalk. They've got a setup there. They're leaving Shazam alone towards that B site. has some Cypher util from Dapper to help him, but otherwise it's a stack towards the B site, and they would be correct here because here comes the push from FURIA into the A site. Wow, Xand absolutely no fear whatsoever, able to convert, taking Raptor's control just briefly.
Caution here.
The spike still needs to go down here. This is looking a little bit scary with the pressure from Sentinels coming through, but you can see that FURIA are slowing it down. They've got the weaponry advantage, the utility advantage. They're playing it as disciplined as they can.
Yeah, they're going to sit on these ults too. They're going to build them, like I was saying. You know, that's going to make their following rounds so much more easy. Oh, what? Xand spraying blindly through the smoke as the door breaks. Takes out Sick. Man, he's definitely been the most impactful duelist in this server so far.
Yes.
That's not what you want to see if you're a Sentinels fan.
Those are, I mean, of course, the frag doesn't really mean much in the scheme of things for the round as we see it cleared up by FURIA, but those are nice ones to get because you feel awesome when you get those, and as you're talking about building up the confidence for the duelist is always important.
So the question here now is, how does Sentinels answer back? Do they get the operator on 10s? How do they get him more involved in the game? And yeah, I think I just saw right there. He has the operator in hand. They're still going to keep Shaz in this B site most likely, and we're still probably going to see, you know, Zoms over here at A main. But I would really like to see Sentinels fight for A main for once.
Yeah, and one thing we have to be cautious about, well, Sentinels should be, is these fast plays from FURIA, fast A-B splits. We'll get the drone likely going up mid as well. They like to make sure that they can clear that position, keep the pressure on the defense by taking mid away. So the drone goes up early on here for FURIA.
And it broke the trip, Dan. It broke the trip for Mazen, so he's now lurking mid with no trip there.
But here goes TenZ. He's looking for information. I think he's heard a step. Oh, there's the dash. Oh my God, able to get out of there. Cosmic Divide comes through. A delayed exec onto his B site. Oh, what a shot there from Xand, and it is beautiful early on here from FURIA. They have come to play.
That is so sick, Dan.
Oh man, this is insane. What a round from FURIA. They completely demolished Sentinels with just pure class and skill.
Prime Gaming flawless nonetheless, and not a single Brazilian player falls in that round. Argentinian as well. They look incredible. TenZ had a sitter though, right there. That's one we expect TenZ to hit. Maybe the nerves coming to him, opening match, a little rusty. But they need TenZ to perform. This is a team that heavily relies on one player to perform, and we've just come to expect it now at this point.
Yeah, and it's really smart too because FURIA were representing a slow default, and they were ready to just pounce on an info gathering play like we just saw. They got lucky that time FURIA that TenZ was there in that particular instance, but back to the anti-eco. We've got Sheriffs on board here for Sentinels on the defense. The pressure comes through towards A main already. Xand, oh, it's just beautiful movement. He's making this look incredible so far on this jet. And I am just afraid for Sentinels watching him, his POV at the moment. And after that initial pressure, we'll have Dapper clearing the B side of the map. So, I mean, Sentinels, they have the information, but what do they do with it? TenZ is on that Bladestorm, and you just have to, you get a sense of how key he is in a round like this.
Yeah, and again, FURIA is making the perfect rotation. You mentioned they're falling back to B. Dapper has pushed through mid, and Shaz has actually reclaimed the B site. So this is the rotation Sentinels needed, but it's pretty much all on Shazam.
Dapper would have heard the footsteps, I believe, in spawn as they were running.
Oh, the rotation's coming in. Dan, look, TenZ is entering this B site right now.
It is really on TenZ here with the Bladestorm, and there we go. Great shots coming through from TenZ. The utility to slow things down. They can't refract this. They have 30 seconds to try to recover, and they can't go to B. They've got to quickly abort, but straight into Dapper. They've been fed into the machine, and here he goes. There's one for Dapper, looking for the next one with the Sheriff. It's patient, but it's TenZ from mid with the Bladestorm to capitalize, and that is how you answer back. Great stuff from Sentinels, and I love Dapper's position in mid.
Yeah, veteran play there coming out of Dapper on the Sentinel roll, nonetheless, on Sentinels. He pushes through mid, and you mentioned it, I think he heard the attackers running through their spawn right there on the way to B. So the lockdown isn't respected in the slightest. That allowed them to have 3 players in the B site with Dapper containing them in mid on an A fake, Dan. Like, that's insane from Sentinels, but it's all made from Dapper playing that situation perfectly.
Absolutely. Sets TenZ up on the position, and we'll see more aggression in mid early here for Sentinels. Just trying to contest this because I think they know that ultimately they'll rotate out of this position, most likely.
They're going back.
You're right, Sean, just as I say that.
This is insane. Drone wars.
The drone wars, and it's FURIA to pick up the opening kill there. Tens goes down. That's a huge pick off immediately. Oh, a second! I don't think Sick knew anything about that angle there, and early 5 versus 3 in favor of FURIA.
Yeah, and the Seekers are out of the play too. Not much to work with on Cloud9 right here. Shaz, no utility remaining. The Recon's still charging. One frag, though, and the Hunter's Fury can come on. That could change the round. And Furia's just waiting for a mistake to be made right now. They're just chilling in mid, and this is eventually going to be a mid-B split.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of information there with that turret damage coming through, and the collapse onto the B site now for FURIA. Dapper in the back of the site. He's good, but can he be this good? Got players from both angles. It's a nice initial kill onto Xand. Can he find any more? Dapper doing huge damage. It's only the 2, though, but maybe that's enough.
Left.
Spike will go down the rotation, already through spawn here from Shazam and Zoms. Certainly a chance for them. We don't have a recon just yet, though, from Shazam. Doesn't look like they want to wait for it. They're going straight for the peaks. Shazam, very threatening there. NZR in the boathouse, trying to keep himself alive. Shazam making it happen. Whilst it goes down, Zoms takes down one more. It's up to NZR in the 1 versus 2. They're looking for him. They know he's at backside. Oh, my goodness. Sentinels. I have no idea how they handled that so well.
It all started with Dapper just nesting in the back of sight like that, using his cages to perfection, using Zoms' nebulas as well to hold the stairs. Honestly, those 3 remaining players from Sentinels might have kept them in this game, Dan, because things would have spiraled out of control with that round.
Yes, yeah, that was beautiful. It really was, and that's the kind of stuff that Sentinels brings to the table. You know, you put someone with their back against the wall, they're always going to do a little bit more damage than maybe you expect, and that's one of the things you have to worry about. But it's a bye for both teams here, Sean.
And it looks like Sentinels is done trying the super aggressive mid stuff. This is just a base setup. Tens will fight mid, but I mean, you can see they're just 1-1-1-1 split all across the map right now on Sentinels. So it's not going to be any kind of coordinated aggression here.
Oh, we have a cat push coming in just to get some information, a bit of pressure. But we've got 4 ultimates online here for Sentinels, so they can play retakes so effectively. The Cosmic Divide, the Hunter's Fury, the Seekers, they have so much to work with in that sense. So I feel like it does allow them to play
the drone missed Tens. The drone missed Tens, Dan. I couldn't agree more with what you said, but this drone, I think they believe Tens isn't in mid. They are wrong, though, as he has shown.
That's a problem, and there's the follow-up. Shazam knows they're trying to shuffle up because of the information that Ten's got, and Shazam probably saw that off of the mini-map. And you can see NZR is trying to pressure into the A site now, but it's certainly a desperate recovery attempt now for FURIA. Oh my god, they're going to drop down the Cosmic Divide. That's going to make life more difficult. They can't even get in here. And that's a spike that's just down in front of them for Sentinels. It's just full control right now.
It's really just not fair, Dan, when you have to run through a Cosmic Divide into a smoke, into a gravity well, you know, just one agent.
It's interesting, though, Sean, because I feel like that's a lot of respect that Sentinels are giving FURIA to use the Cosmic Divide, because they had quite a big ultimate lead, and they're like, we are just going to guarantee that we win this round no matter what.
They needed to guarantee not only that they won this round, though, Dan, they needed to do it cleanly, right? And right now, no one has died on their team. They're looking at a Prime Gaming flawless, but they need to build an economy if they want to come back in this game, and this is a start.
Yeah, certainly is, and that's the thing too, you know, Sentinels looking amazing right now, which is great to see for a Sentinels fan, especially after what was a very scary run of 5 rounds from FURIA. But at the same time, FURIA, they still have 5 rounds. If they only get 1 more round and a half, that's still like a good half for FURIA. So lots of work for Sentinels to continue to do, and it's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up now as we have another bye rounds for both teams.
And Tens is on this B site with the operator. Dapper here as well. Shaz on the rotate into mid. So they've moved Tens around, and I think they have the right read. Cam in the window early from Dapper gives some info that this is more than just a B default.
Yeah, that spot there, I think that kind of blew up this opening for FURIA. They're just holding position now, looking for a response in mid. There goes that drone. We saw that before. They've done this before. They drone mid, and then they delay push, delay exec into the B site.
But the counter drone from Shazam gives all the info to him. No one is in mid, and he knows that, look, he's rolling into the B site. They're going to have a 3-stack here before a frag even goes down.
Oh, the bait set up, though. Dapper's got to get something, but nothing. He gets absolutely nothing. And the same story for TenZ. And that's a free B site now. Here coming through for FURIA. And Sentinels, they're in a lot of trouble here. I'm not sure exactly how their money is at the moment, but this is a scary position to be in. They've only got the Seekers for the retake. Sick with the pickup onto Khalil, trying to set up in a forward position. We have a long rotation around from B main, coming through from QCK, looking for the craziest of timings.
It really could be insane too, Dan, because he has the res, and if both of these Sentinel players end up in the site, that could come into play.
There we go. There it is, coming into play. Shazam will take down QCK. There's 2 players left here for Shazam to try to find, but he's on Sova. This will be difficult here for Shazam. No util to aid him, and there's the peek coming through from NZR. They'll finish off the round. Sentinels made it look scary at the end, but wow, that's a crazy one for Sentinels to lose out on.
Yeah, that looked rough, right? Because they had all of the information. All of the cards were visible to them there, right? They had the right reads. But again, the star player on the team in TenZ has that first shot, and it's just not landing right now. Which is crazy, because I was looking at his ACS before that round. It was 233.
Yeah.
Is Xand's average ACS in the last 90 days on a jet only is 230. Like, this is a bad game for TenZ. That's how much of a star player he typically is.
And you can see TenZ this time going for that early A main aggression, but we get great util coming through from FURIA in that early setup to win that early control. They pick up the orb as well. So early victories here for them, and they've... Oh, never mind. Never mind. The rotation through to B here for FURIA as well. But that's the lockdown gone, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah. Shaz knows this player's here. He broke the cam, and now the recon has not pinged him. That means Shaz knows this guy's aggressive. Mazin's aggressive in B main. The res is definitely coming in here. We're going to have a 5v5, Dan, and it's definitely ending in this B site. The wall's going to go up. Is Shaz going to be ready for this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Getting that lockdown back in play. There's the wall, the boost here for Xand, looking for it. There's the res on Khalil, so that will enable them to use a lockdown, but they're actually not going into the B side. They're going back into mid right now to catch the rotation from Catwalk, but there is no rotation just yet. Sentinels starting to put the pieces together. The ISIL comes in to slow things down. There's 30 seconds on the clock. How much damage does Sick get here? Nothing. Better angle for NCR as they now spill through the tree position into TenZ's crosshair, and he's slowing things down. They can't afford to lose this time. They've got 15 seconds to plant this spike, and I don't know how they get onto the side. They're coming through, but TenZ still locking things down. Cloudburst up high as he goes for the reposition, and he's got Zoms to fall back on as well. Zomso, it's just going to be on TenZ's shoulders, but looks like that is a steady pair of hands, but finally he'll go down, but he's done enough here. He's done enough. No time exactly for them to plant this spike. Oh,
wow. Wow. They just got bailed out big time from their young star in TenZ. And what a time for him to come up big, right? Every time it seems like Sentinels is on the verge of literally losing this map, right? They are falling far, very, very far behind right now on the defensive side of Ascent. TenZ has bailed them out, right? Even in this kind of average game from him, the Bladestorm round and now this round, massive impact coming his way. I think FURIA has done such a good job of switching up the sites. And I actually thought this was a great read, catching Sick on Catwalk there. It's just the trading wasn't there.
Yeah, I was going to say, easiest Red Bull clutch of Shazam's life. Wasn't walking in, win by time. We've got that, once again, into that mid presence. You love this from Sentinels, keeping the pressure on, forcing util to be used to push them off of these early positions.
See, Sentinels doesn't really understand what's on. They're running back towards their spawn. They're breaking the turret in mid. Shaz is repositioning now into this B site. He's going to go, up on that platform. Maybe get ready to spam here. Still has the Odin.
Yeah, Khalil has that lockdown that they were going to use or were thinking to use for that previous round. So it seems like they want to get the lockdown play in again.
that was an interesting little... Chaz just used a shock dart, and like you said, this lockdown's here. It's not going to get broken.
Oh, I think Xand has been tagged. Yep, he'll go down. That's a big Hunter's Fury coming through there from Furia, but still have Dapper in position. Can they take down Dapper? They can't get past the angle just yet. Xand there at the back is looking to do all of the damage. He'll take out Dapper. That will unlock his other players to get into the site for the take and for that spike plant. But
30 seconds left.
TenZ is ever dangerous. He looks for a timing. There's a swing from Spawn, and the Cosmic Divide comes through defensively for Furia. Quick flash there from Sick, looking to try to gain some position. TenZ will take down one. It's looking quite labored here, but still good chance for Sentinels as they try to make their way forward. Sick able to take down one more, and a very desperate push from QCK, trying to find the timing, and that leaves it all down to NCR. They know that he's locked out by B main, and here comes the pressure. There goes the defuse. NCR gets one. Does Sick go for the stick? He tries to go for the spam. He has to run it down. I don't know if he has time. Sick not coming off that defuse. My God, Sick with nerves of steel is going to win that one, and Sentinels pick up the round.
Wow, just the jump, Dan. Just the jump to get on that ledge was enough time for Sick to finish the defuse. I thought when he switched to the Phantom, it was the perfect play. He would catch the defuse. Everything was going perfectly, right? Wow. That is so lucky. I feel like Sentinels is so lucky right now in this half to have 5 rounds, Dan.
Yeah.
They need to buy a lotto ticket or something after this game. This is unreal, some of the clutches they have won in this half.
And going into the last round of the half, we have not a very good buy coming through from Furia. We'll have to see how they play this one out. TenZ will take out that Blade Storm, see what he can do with it in this final round of the first half. We have, of course, Control for A main with Furia. And I think Furia have a sense that it's this early cat presence once again. They've seen it a couple times here from Sentinels.
Spike dropped.
Triple setup on Catwalk. And I think at some point this round will probably go to Catwalk, because every time there's been a heavy top mid presence, that's where the strat goes.
Yeah, Furia with a slower pace than perhaps you would expect against Sentinels.
Dan, I will say the Nightmare Fuel is that quick walls off this tree position. He's done it before. So they can single off TenZ and then just leave these two out of the picture, and the A side is theirs. That could very well happen right now, because we are grouping for a Furia cat hit.
Yeah, they're looking to set up an info trap here as well with this pause. I think Furia, they're looking to catch Sentinels playing over aggressively, but they're not doing it there. Content with this. Oh my God, that's disgusting from TenZ. How does he find a headshot there? Picks Xand out of the sky, and now 4 versus 4. More frags from TenZ. It absolutely is the TenZ show right now. And what does Furia do here? They managed to get the spike planted. However, TenZ is still alive, and that is obviously a problem. Here he goes, tries to find the pixel angles with that Blade Storm, but Marsden will take him down with the Guardian. 1 versus 3, and, well, never mind. Sentinels pick up the final round of the first half, and they're going to equalize here, 6-6. And let's not forget, we had a 5-0 streak early on from Furia.
A 5-0 streak with so many man-up scenarios after that too, right, Dan? It feels like this is at least an 8-4 half for Furia, but it ends 6-6. Both these teams are tied, and honestly, I don't know what Sentinels has in store, because like I mentioned before the game, we haven't even seen Sick on this roll on attack side of Ascent.
Yeah, we saw some great stuff from Furia and also from Sentinels. It's feeling like a very great matchup so far, but now it's time to go for a quick break, so we'll hand it back over to the desk.
Thank you very much, gents. Equalizing there, Sentinels did to bring it to 6-6 on the first half, putting 6 of the last 7 rounds together in order to get us to that point. But Paperton, I think that's where we got to start. The fact that they were even pushed the way they were, and in a lot of ways it happened the way you said it should. If Furia rather wants to take this, they've got to bring the fight, and they got to bring it early on the attacking side.
Yeah, it looked really, really good for them early. It was kind of what I wanted to see. Aggression, measured aggression, though. It's not like they're just kind of, going at it from the word go. They're getting a little bit of information. They're hitting some good shots. They're following up off of each other. Some great combos with their utilities. and then all of a sudden the Sentinels start to turn it around.
It's the classic Sentinels download. You give Shaz a few rounds to kind of figure you out and start to look at the, the ways or the tendencies that the team has. And I'm going to call out round number 6, the first one they picked up. It was an eco round, and it's Dapper pushing up into mid to get the positioning, to hear the footsteps on the KJ. Ult fake over on A, catching them on the way to B. That's really where it all started to turn around.
You don't expect someone that deep. You don't expect anyone to hear you as you're running around. You're like, oh, this A fake, that's so easy. No one's going to tell. We're running around. We should be in. And then all of a sudden, there's multiple defenders waiting there. Like, how could they have known? How could they have read this? None of us knew until you pointed out Paper Thin before. He's like, hang on. I think one of them was pushed up deep. He heard the footsteps. Imagine that's how you lose one of those crucial rounds, and it's very expensive as well.
And while it was Dapper with the positioning, as the rounds went on, it was Tens who was finding the shots. He's top fragging for the team. We called him out at the top of the day. It's got to be the superstar. If you're going to take the World Championship, this is the guy who needs to perform every step of the way.
Yeah, he was a little cold to start. You could tell he was having a little bit of trouble dealing with these coordinated, aggressive pushes, especially on the B side. They move him over to A. They put him in some good positions where he can start getting some frags. He does a nice job in middle. He gets undetected there that one time, gets the free op shot into Khalil. He's doing a lot of nice stuff, and once he gets that ops in his hands, he's so nasty to deal with.
Well,
he's map positioning. I just wanted to point out, we were talking about the turret play there from FURIA, and we're like, well, he knows how to just dip dive and dodge around all of those little areas that he doesn't need to be, and he doesn't want to be caught out. So I think that's something to show that the map knowledge here, even though Sentinels haven't played this in a while, is still coming out strong.
6-6, we are deadlocked even coming out of the first half. We dive into the second half, going back over to DDK and Sean Garrett to see how it all plays out.
Thank you so much, Dash. Absolutely. What a match so far. Without Tens, Sean, without Tens, I fear what would have happened to Sentinels in that first half. But they rally it back 6-6 as we swap sides.
It's truly the crown jewel of NA after that half, right? But look at this. Oh, my goodness, Dan. We have a mid collapse from FURIA and mid gathering at top mid from Sentinels. There's going to be a bloodbath.
And we get a trade on to Mr. 10 straight away, but here comes Xand down cat, and he looks like he's hungry to push the issue all the way. The dash is able to help him survive, and backing away is difficult. Does have support here, but that cage from Dapper enabled him to isolate Xand there, so that's just Dapper with those Cypher things. But still, 3 versus 3 on the reset with over a minute to go. Sentinels have plenty of time to figure this one out.
Dan, is that an Astra with a Sheriff on a pistol round? Mazen is such a Chad. I love that. I love that. Sentinels regrouping for the A hit here. And this is actually a great setup from FURIA. They have the Sage in the site, QCK making first contact. And I mentioned Mazen on catwalk. He's going to be quick there to rotate.
QCK. Oh, that's some good tagging. Mazen unable to find the finishing blows, though. And QCK, unfortunately for FURIA, goes down very quickly on the site. Don't believe they broke the door, actually, so this will be pretty easy and telegraphed. They're just going to swing to win here, FURIA, and this is very, very tough. All these Ps coming through. There's just one left, though. But a huge health advantage for Soms, and Mazen, oh my goodness, he somehow finds that one with the headshot. Unbelievable. Soms had so many advantages, Sean.
Oh my goodness. He had the frenzy too, Dan. All he needed to do was connect a bullet or two. But that Chad Sheriff, it comes up so big.
You called it.
That's incredible that he clutches that round. FURIA has both pistols in this game, Dan.
Look at that Brazilian confidence.
They are a live dog right now in this matchup. They look like they could take this.
Yeah, it is sometimes hard to beat the Brazilian confidence, the Brazilian fire, the passion.
Yes, we both knew it's coming. Eventually, this scene is going to be incredible and just demolish everyone.
Yep.
It's coming.
Absolutely.
One of these tournaments.
And hey, I mean, that sharp shooting with the Sheriff from Mazen may have been the reason for the tag pause here.
Yes, I would probably break a monitor.
Absolutely. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, as we were discussing previously, we have more of a moment to go into some of these details here. We do have changes for Sentinels. You know, there are the rumors that Shaz will be on Sova, predominantly, in fact. I think all except Split where
Yeah.
he might be playing Sky, and so that's one big change. And we haven't seen much data on this team, so it's hard to know where they're at, even though they're such a top dog.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Shaz always played a little bit of Sova, right? Never a lot before Tens joined the team, right? He was always playing Jet. He even dabbled with a little bit of Reyna before Tens joined the team. But ever since Tens joined, he's recognized the fact that he's the in-game leader. He has this star player, this special player on his team that should be on the star duelist role. Shaz, selflessly gave that up, and he's now taken on the Sova role. He's way behind as far as practice goes compared to the other Sovas, but I think he does a great job of finding new arrows and, making sure he's getting the ult economy going like a lot of the other top Sovas are doing in the scene.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it starts to flow as they get deeper into the tournament, because I think that's at least the assumption I think most of us have. There's going to be a lot of games that we should probably be seeing from Sentinels, but getting back into the game a little bit and talking somewhat about Furia.
Sure.
They've got the Sage, and we've seen that the Sage catwall and defense come in vogue, and so that's going to be, I think, a point of contention that should be quite interesting and dynamic that I'm looking forward to here for this matchup. Is there any points around that you think is particularly interesting for you?
Yeah, I'm literally smiling because I was thinking about the Sage right now. I was thinking about all the innovative things that they did on the attack side, right? I say innovative lightly. We've seen all these things before, but the wall at tree where, QCK was able to peek over that, get the frag at window. The wall at A main, where peeking over the Nebula at A main, gets the frag onto Raptors. There's so many of these little quirky walls that gifted frags to either him or his teammates, the one in B main. How are we going to see that happen on defense right now? Because now, he can control the flow of a round. So I guarantee you there's a lot of trick walls we have coming our way. But right now we have a super heavy mid setup with 3 players, one that we mentioned, that Sage, and an alarm bot between them.
Yes, and we don't have a drone from Shazam around Market, so I don't think we're going to see that kind of drone take it. They're all grouped up, though, looking to go together, I would imagine. But Furia, as you noted, a lot of mid presence. Not the team spotting anything just yet. Both teams wanting to see what the other team is going to do in terms of first action.
Yeah, this is a terrifying setup, actually. I would be willing to bet this is a bit of a counter. Maybe Furia has a read that Sentinels likes to clear out mid on these rounds and then go into a site hit, right? Trying to pull a rotation to mid. They like to break this alarm bot, and that's why they put the alarm bot in the middle. It's a bait. They're trying to actually force Sentinels into this bait setup.
And the last thing you want to do against Sentinels in a round like this, where you've picked up that pistol, is give them the opportunity to pop off with the Marshal or the Sheriff, give them that long-range damage. That's how they get into this round. So you can see that's being completely denied. A mid-round or even late-round drone comes through. That gives a lot of information to Furia to help them understand how to position. But with that said, rotation is looking like it's coming here for Sentinels through to Cat.
What a read, too, because if you look at this, the Astra is solo
30
in A
seconds left.
Raptors. This site is definitely going to be lost. The plant will certainly go down. And there's going to be a 5-on-5 retake, Dan.
And there should be a lot of close-range engagements for those SMGs to really pay off, but Martin actually ahead of the Nebula here, looking to find some early damage. Knows where the spike's being planted, can call out the gen plant. There's a whiff, though. Or did he get tagged? Actually, no, he got tagged. Who am I kidding? It's Tens, of course. You can see the pressure coming through now as they set up the retake. Oh, that's a huge wall, and that is going to trigger 4 kills in quick succession from Furia, and there's no response because there's a big fat wall in the way. Zomso biding his time. They don't know where he is, but there are plenty of players to cover every eventuality. What a setup from Furia.
What a setup. It's actually incredible. The walls from QCK have won so many rounds for Furia. This Sage has been pivotal to the success, and that's something you rarely say when you watch these pro games of Valorant. The Sage just seems to be a support player. They do a little bit of here, a little bit of there. This is like very impactful walls we're seeing out of QCK in this match.
And it gives them that prime gaming flawless, and that's so important. We also saw Furia capitalizing quite well off of the first pistol in the first half as well, and just playing out these anti-ecos really effectively. That's always a very good sign as we go into this next round.
And look at the difference here. So Mazin as an Astra, unlike Zom's, is aggressively peeking into A main, right? He has this info. He's forcing people to take this line from him with abilities. So that's a piece of utility Sentinels will need to expend to push him off that angle, to force more of a rotate into this A site, because otherwise we're still dealing with the triangle setup on mid.
Trailblazer coming through into mid to spot information, but that gets shut down. So not a lot of info garnered from that one. Here comes the clearance. That's a fantastic shock dart. There's that defensive reaction with the Ice Orb. Xand able to get out of position as well. So a minute left, and this is good information, good clearance of utility from Sentinels so far.
Yeah, this is a great job by Sentinels. They've completely broken up that mid setup, and they've wasted all the utility on those players. But now they're going right into the stack, Dan.
And but Marsden able to take down 10, so you knew that he had a weak opponent, but it doesn't seem to matter too much. Sentinels doing a great job in dealing the damage. They're going to have a spy plant here, but still 2 players left alive. Spectres, though, for Khalil and then ZR in the retake. And I believe the door is down, so they only have to look at rafters right now. Sentinels have all the information. That's some quick information there. Seeing, hearing who shot the dart as it came through. As they edge their way forward, but lacking health, lacking utility. Need that first kill, and it's not going to be given. His 6th first kill instead, and the 2nd for the triple. And Sentinels, beautiful round, really.
Yes.
Such a great mid-round to late-round play.
It's crazy, Dan, because they actually got outplayed on this round by FURIA. We saw that same 1-3-1 setup, 1 on A, 3 in mid, 1 on B, right? And Sentinels prodded into mid so slowly. They worked their way into that triangle setup. They wasted all that utility. But FURIA, it's almost as if they knew that once they got pushed off, Sentinels would go into the A hit. They were trying to pull them off of the A site. And FURIA read that perfectly. They stacked A ahead of time.
Well, we have Xand now on the operator for the first time here on the defensive side, looking to gain control around mid.
Ooh, his arm's going to peek. Arms.
Got to be careful. That's going to take... Oh, actually, Xand gets attacked by the drone as well. And then, oh, look how quick they are behind that. Straight up into market with the Seekers. Sick looking for the entries. Catches Khalil without the gun in hand. They're so quick. Xand, though, still on the site. Still with the operator. Rotations coming in, and they're trying to slow this one down. FURIA are trying to slow it down, and the Cosmic Divide, that might slow it down enough to allow the rotation to come in to help. Reaction, though.
Either that or it's created a prison for these B players, Dan, because now they're trapped behind their own Cosmic Divide.
Yeah, not a good look, and you know that they are completely boxed in, so there goes the spike all the way to the A site. So you like the idea, well, the idea is cool, the reactive Cosmic Divide to buy time, but after those 2 kills in spawn from Sentinels, it just fell apart. But can they keep the operator alive? That's the mission right now, but Xand walks straight into it. They were never letting him out of that cage.
Dear God, Dan, the amount of utility that hit Xand that round was incredible. It was insane. He got hit by what? A trail... I'm going in reverse here. A Trailblazer, a Nova Pulse, a Gravity Well, a Seeker.
Got tagged by the drone as well.
Tagged by the drone as well. I mean, what a round. The Initiators just tore this man up.
Yeah, the timing was so fast from Sentinels. They just... You could see that they were caught completely off guard. Khalil just holding util by the boathouse there. So, yeah, really problematic, but 8-8, we're all tied up, and it will be an eco for FURIA. That round broke their economy. And we've got a fast B movement from Sentinels. And speaking of catching people off guard, actually, it looked like Zap out of timing. Oh, no. Khalil finds one as well. They can't capitalize. Sick tries to trade. Khalil!
Through the cloud burst in.
How dare he?
That is 2 crazy. On 4 now in FURIA's favor. Now, they don't have a lot of guns to work with, but Khalil has, he's farmed this lockdown.
Absolutely bodacious plays from FURIA on the defense now. Sentinels have to recover that spike. They've got no other options.
I mean, I don't even know what you do if you're Sentinels right now. They have to get a frag. Maybe Shaz can pop a blind Hunter's Fury, or maybe you can get a little bit of info.
Managed to grab it at least. It's 50 seconds. I mean, the problem is that FURIA, they have to assume that FURIA has pushed other parts of the map.
Yeah, but the first mission here in this type of scenario, Dan, is get the spike with a lot of time on the clock. And the reason being is you have to allow that seed of doubt to form in the defense's mind. They have to think that you fell back. And that's just not happening because, as you mentioned, the FURIA's
Well,
The action's top mid, but the frags are all going Sentinels' way.
They've actually now, they forced their way into advantage now. This is, officially they have advantage now. 2 versus 2, better weapons on the afterplan. Here comes QCK. The cheeky shot's not working out for him or his teammates, but Marzen could perhaps change the story. Or maybe not, it's been spotted now, so this is very tough. However, Shazam is 1 bullet away, but is he ever peeking? He doesn't have to. He's playing a setup that his Zombs will take first contact, and then Shazam can peek. It's a simple, tried and tested setup, and Zombs is going to absolutely destroy Marzen. What a recovery. Was that 2 versus 4? I think it was.
It was indeed a 2-on-4. Another scenario where Furia has an advantage of players, and they're not playing those situations correctly. They have very, very good early round setups, utility traps, but once Sentinel slows down these mid rounds, it gets them to make decisions without their utility, decisions without a plan ahead of time. Sentinels has come up big in all of those scenarios so far.
Yeah, a team with unlimited clutch. But we have the operator back in hand for Xand. He's looking for that mid jump peak. And he will get tagged, unfortunately, and unable to hold that position any longer. And in the meantime, Sentinels taking some space towards B main. Furia win A main control once again. Trailblazer goes down, looking for info outside of B main into the B site. There's that cat wall as well.
Yeah, and Sentinels has taken B main. They're trying to force the Sova to rotate over to B to help out Killjoy. They've done that. They have done their goal, and now they will go back to A main and try to take this engagement. This is a very dangerous situation for Marzen because of all of this initiator utility.
And with that wall still up, it gives Furia an easy understanding that they don't have to look towards Cat just yet. Here comes that Hunter's Fury, the flash as well to Marzen, but he's totally fine. Dodges the Hunter's Fury. Very nice. Seekers come through from Sentinels to try to entry into the site here. And looks like they may be to push things back, but there's Xand. Oh, he doesn't get one. That's crazy. Very unfortunate there for Xand and Furia. The Sentinels start to spill into the site, and there goes the spike planting as well. And they've got a great hold here. This is going to take a lot from Furia, but they are just losing absolutely everybody. Look at Shazam go, and Sentinels will shut it down. And that's a huge round to win. That's where you want to see Furia come back into it.
Yeah, and that's just one of those classic veteran rounds, right? You can feel it all throughout the round. The trip is set up over at A. They're trying to fight a little bit for mid control, but they're really, really pushing back B main. They're fighting for the orb. They're trying to filter rotations into this B site. And once they feel like you don't have the info at B and they've almost forced in their minds a theoretical second player B, they're going to hit A. And they did. They used both of the initiator ults. The Hunter's Fury comes out, takes out quick. The Seekers come out, find Marzen. And the site just falls so quickly at that point. That was a fantastic round by Sentinels.
Yeah, it truly was. I mean, we're seeing a lot of great stuff from Furia, but certainly the experience of Sentinels is shining through at the moment. And I think for the sake of context, it is worth mentioning that for Furia to have a solid chance of winning this series, their best chance, they have to win the first map. Going into the second map, you would have them at a big disadvantage, as in general, we see that permaban being bind, but Breeze is a map that they don't tend to play too much in general. So this is certainly going to be a better look for them than their average Breeze game.
Yes.
So we'll have to see what happens when we get to Breeze. But from what we know and understand right now, there's a lot of pressure on this one for them. Exactly.
I hate to look ahead, but yeah, like you mentioned, they haven't played Breeze since, I think it was August. It's been a long time. So we still have a lot of rounds here to play, though. 10-8, Sentinels in the lead. But they finally have this economic advantage, the round advantage, and you have to feel like all of the momentum has shifted into their favor at this point.
I totally agree with you. And so do quite well off of these pistols previously. See if they can do it again, although they can close that one. Oh, Sentinels. I was going to say they're playing that kind of very passive anti-eco setup in the early round. And there we go, we get a catch. Marzen goes down towards A main.
And this stand is just, this is what happens when you run a default, right? And what I mean by that is Zombs has done this every round. He's played super passive around A. I even pointed out earlier, he gave up A main control, right? Marzen's kind of wondering in the back of his head, can I just push through this? Is anyone here? I mean, you would hate to go through the whole match and have there be no one there when you look back at the VOD. So he tests it out here, gets burned, and now look at this 3-on-5. Shaz runs. Wow. What?
He just doesn't give a damn.
Spike planted.
Doesn't give a damn, Shazam. The man through the smoke, but it's going to be tough to get some damage from this one. Sentinels, you know, they saw the Brazilian confidence and they're meeting it with some of their own. It's a nice little frag at the end of it, and if we're going to get a comeback from FURIA, well, we've got 4 ultimates. They're ahead on the ultimate economy, and so if it's going to happen, it has to be now. Sentinels on 11. This is now FURIA's best chance to get back into this ascent.
Yeah, and I think they really need Xand to come up big. He had a lot of key moments in that first half where he was creating space, getting some first bloods on some of those rounds in the first half, but he has been absent in this second half. He's having some of the same struggles we saw TenZ have. But I will give credit to Sentinels. Their initiators and the utility they have used across the map has helped that tremendously.
Yeah, we can see that. We've got Sage there, QCK in market. 3 players here, quick to a response on the defense for FURIA. Oh, Xand is in a dodgy position. Oh, they'll shoot out the Trailblazer for him so he can get the pick on the Dapper. Beautiful early setup there from FURIA. There goes that wall in mid. What does that tell Sentinels? They're starting to rotate very quickly to Catwalk.
Yeah, what it tells them is that Sage was mid. She wants to rotate as quick as possible to B to help the teammates out, so they know 3 people are B. They're trying to quickly come into this A site. There's the tree smoke going down. 2 by A main. Getting slowed down, Dan.
Yeah, the Hunter's Fury comes in too, trying to catch them going through toward tree, but 50 seconds, there's actually a lot of time for Sentinels still. They walk through. Oh, the angle from Khalil is great. And Marston's there to back it up. It's TenZ on the other side of it, though. And it's just TenZ and Zoms. They're split. 1 A main, 1 Catwalk, and time is against them now. 40 seconds to go. A full rotation from the defense of FURIA on this A site. They don't have to give anything here. They can force Sentinels to go deep, but Xand wants to take control of this one. But there's still TenZ. And he has a Blade Storm. Again, not much time here. TenZ needs to get the action. And they're going to give it to him. And he's going to get caught by NCR. Beautiful finish there from FURIA. We said they had to win the round. They do so only expending 1 of their ultimates. So they're still in good stead moving forward.
4 people alive. The operator remains in Xand's hands. That is the perfect round if you're looking for FURIA to win this game. Sentinels has a lot of money to work with, though, Dan. They're going to be able to buy this round and potentially another round after this due to the Blade Storm on TenZ. So FURIA has their work cut out for them right now. They're going to need to string together rounds. And Sentinels, they're spreading out in this base default, and Xand's going to get aggressive on B again.
Can he find anything? Oh, we know that Dapper wants to do it. Waiting as long as he could, hoping that Dapper would peek behind that Trailblazer, but no. Dapper knows better. And there goes the drone. And Dapper's going to try to deal with that one. Everybody else evacuates. So we'll get a fast rotation from Sentinels towards A main. A main has been Marsden's territory, and they'll hear the pickup of the ultimate orb.
Yeah, and meanwhile, QCK has taken control, B main walled, and is on the wall. All of the info, Dan. The stack is coming into A right now.
This is going to be a tough one. The Cosmic Divide will block off that Raptors position. That will commit players from FURIA to drop through. And you can see the Sentinels are beyond the angle. They're able to defend, but the lineup comes through. But Marsden only able to find 1 from that one. And now FURIA, they're in so much trouble here. They're in so much trouble. Do they try to commit the weapons into this one? Will they have enough for another operator? I don't know. They need an argument to go forward. They need somebody to give them something for them to want to commit their entire weaponry into this site. But I don't think that's happening right now, Sean.
Oh no, with Dapper in this corner right now, are they going to clear this? He peeks out. That's the info, Dan. This might be the in that you were talking about.
Looking for the angle, but if there's a man that knows this angle, it's Dapper. Trying to tease him out here, but he's so patient. And just continuation spray. He expects a trade fragger to come forward, and they are committing at least 1 extra, well, 2 extra guns there. Xand will escape with that operator, but 12 rounds for Sentinels coming up.
Yeah, and I mean, not many teams in Valorant have come back against a leading Sentinels team, Dan. This is a graveyard of losers. Not many teams successful when Sentinels hits this 12th round. So FURIA has their work cut out for them, but you mentioned it before, they have some ults to work with. The Res is there, the Blade Storm is there, they have an operator, the Lockdown's there, the Cosmic Divide's there. They have so many things to work with, right? Yes. So 3 rounds is not out of the question. This is not an impossible comeback for FURIA right here. And they have the alarm bot deeper into mid now. That tells me FURIA isn't going to play aggressive here this round.
And they swap Sage, QCK back to A main as well, so they move QCK around a lot. Looking for aggressive A main control. They could find Zombs here. And Shuri gets unleashed.
It's a blind ult onto the Killjoy connector, and she dodges everything. Zom's getting pushed A main. There's a trip protecting him, but he's out. This is a fast mid B split, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. That wall on A main, that means nothing, and it's going to be all down to NZR trying to defend, trying to get ahead of this one. Tens is around the corner of that Blade Storm, but in comes Xand as well, and trying to capitalize, just use some element of surprise to his advantage, but Jet diffed by Tens. Marzen and QCK remaining. There goes the res. Oh, Khalil will be not able to get up there. Shazam with the punish. And it's looking like Sentinels are about to pick up map 1 of this series. All that stands in their way now is Marzen. And that Cosmic Divide is going to be somewhat helpful, but there's so many players here. There's a quick pop flash, and actually Sig flashes himself, but doesn't matter. Shazam, the fearless leader of Sentinels, will take it over the line for his side. It was a noble effort by FURIA, but we needed just a little bit more.
Yeah, that was an incredible showing by FURIA. I thought they looked like the better team up until maybe, 15, 16 rounds into the game. But once Sentinels got their footing, stabilized, the nerve shook off of Tens maybe, they really settled into this game, and they looked really, really solid tactically.